Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al, DraftKings Week 15, and we have a Saturday special slate of games for you this week. And I put that in air quotes because this two-game slate is anything but special, with Las Vegas against Cleveland and New England against Indianapolis and all the COVIDity that's been going around. The entire slate has little red boxes next to everybody's names. We're playing with a third string quarterback on one of these four teams. These two games have really low totals, but there's $1 million on top. There's a Millionaire Maker out there. There's two showdown slates that we can go after. There's a lot of ways that we can attack. So, I mean, there's not a lot of ways that we can attack, but there's ways that we can attack. Because of the way that this slate breaks down, there's going to be an awful lot of overlap. And I was planning on recording this video on Thursday during the stream, but it was not possible for me to do that with all of the different players that were being named out via COVID. So I'm putting it out. I'm up super early on Friday morning before the live stream on Twitch to record this video to get it out there for you. And it's entirely possible that more players are going to just be knocked off of this slate as testing comes out this morning. So I'm hoping that this information is still relevant. There is a very straightforward path, and there's a few players that I think you must have if you're playing the two-game slate. Obviously, in a tournament, anything can happen, so fading the massive chalk is going to be viable, but there's not a lot of ways to get different. So we're going to take a look at this one. We're also going to have a trivia question on the next two videos, the lineup builder that's going to come out later today and the 5 under 5 that will come out on early Saturday morning for those last two giveaways. Thank you guys for helping us get over the 50,000 sub mark. We're going to celebrate that with those two other giveaways. We had two other ones already so far this week on the top stacks video and the running backs video. So if you've not put an answer in the replies on YouTube for those two, definitely go do that. Look out for those next two. Make sure that you win something, or at least get yourself in there, because you can't win unless you're subscribed. So drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave me a reply down below with, I don't know, are you playing the main two-game slate on this Saturday? Or are you going to be playing just the showdown slates? Or are you going to take the entire day off from DFS because these games are really projected to score low and you just want to watch the football and enjoy it? So let me know what you're up to this Saturday, and let's hit the video.
He's a legend.
Taking a look over at Fantasy Labs and looking at where these two games are, just to kind of accentuate what I was telling you, right? The lines have moved all over the place. The totals have dropped dramatically because obviously quarterbacks affect totals, slow-paced teams affect totals, and just it's a complete mess. So like Cleveland opened as 6.5 point favorites. They are now 3.5 point underdogs, a 10-point line movement from the time this game opened. The total on the game opened at 50. It is now down 12 points to 38 as they're going to go with, I think, Nick Mullins at quarterback. The Raiders line really hasn't moved all that much. The Browns are expected to score. Had a team total of 28 and a quarter. They're now down to 17 and a quarter. And the Patriots, one of the best defenses in the league. I think they're like bottom 2 or 3 in terms of DraftKings points per games allowed to opposing quarterbacks. They get to square up against Carson Wentz. Like, there's no safe spot to go at quarterback on this slate is kind of what I'm getting at. And this total has started at 48 and is now down to 45. So like, we had what could have been an interesting slate is now like stuck in the mud. So it is what it is. If you have not already, go check out the SMG Listening League. 3,250 people will run in that one. This is for the main slate on Sunday. $10. This week it is 5 max to help us fill that out. So if you're a 3 max player, you're like, I wish I could put a couple more into this tournament. It's 5 max. If you're somebody who only puts 1 in the SMG Listening League at smizzle.tv/league, you got to go to that link, smizzle.tv/league. It's not in the lobby, so make sure that you bookmark smizzle.tv/league, and that will take you there every single week of the year. And even next year, when I put the Listener League up next year, it'll still be at smizzle.tv/league. That will take you to the Listener League. So no rake in this tournament, best tournament that exists on DraftKings. Here's the slate. It's so ugly. Want to see something funny? Look at this. Look. What? I mean, it's not funny, but it's funny. Like, here's Cleveland. What? That's a lot of red. There's an awful lot of red on the ledger this week. It's really, this is just the state of week 15 football. I said in a previous video, don't get married to any single play or any specific lineup this week. Being nimble is going to be your best asset. So have your thoughts, and you're not even going to be able to prepare if-then statements. Usually that's my go-to, right? Like if we don't know what's going to happen, set up your if-then statements and then be ready to go if the thing happens. Right now, we don't even know what's going to happen. So we have to kind of work our way around everything else. So I think, like I said, there are 3 plays if you're playing head-to-head games, if you're playing cash games, or even in tournaments. I think that there are 3 plays that people are going to likely lock button and cash and are going to be really highly played in tournaments because the percentage is out the window. Normally we say in a Millionaire Maker, stay below 130%. Impossible to do on a 2-game slate, similar to the Thanksgiving slate. So the main 3 plays. 1 is going to be Nick Chubb. With Kareem Hunt not in this game, Nick Chubb got his highest snap percentage of the season last week, but it was still only like 66%. They're going to have to lean even more heavily on the running game in this one. I don't think it's going to be as extreme as the Patriots in that snow game where Mac Jones threw it 3 times, but I would not be shocked if they can keep this game within a touchdown. Right? If they don't get down to, 10 points, 14 points, I could see them trying to run the ball 45 times with Nick Chubb and very possibly D'Ernest. So Nick Chubb is one of the 3 locks. The other lock is going to be Jonathan Taylor. Everybody's going to want to play this guy for good reason. Coming off of a bye week, New England is a tough defense, but like we're done with making excuses for tough defenses on a 2-game slate because you got to play somebody. So you want to get access to the one player on this slate who has the most ability to be the must-play guy. Now, they're in the later game, so I'm going to put him into the flex in this lineup. But, I don't need to explain to you via metrics why he's the best guy. He's literally just the best guy at running back on the season, partially because, 5 of the top running backs on the year have gotten injured and are out, but leading the league in inside the 5 carries, so carries with him massive touchdown upside. They finally unlocked giving him 20 to 25 touches a week on an every week basis and including him in the passing game. But what about Nyheim Hines, Al? Well, I'm glad you asked. Nyheim Hines for the last few weeks has not really seen a lot of usage at all. If I could actually find him on the sheet at 4K. 6 touches against Houston in a game where they blew them out. 4 touches, 4 touches, 4 touches. Since week 9, they have basically written him out of what they try to do, where he was a major role playing a solid amount of snaps that was eating into what Jonathan Taylor was doing, right? Earlier in the season, we're like, just give Jonathan Taylor 20 plus carries and throw Jonathan Taylor the ball 4 plus times a game. Well, right around week 9, that really shifted into the usage that we want. I don't know if this was planned by the Indianapolis Colts coaching staff, where it's like, look, we know that we're going to need this dude down the road, so let's not wear him out early in the season and then hope that down the stretch we could just ride the horse. But, or maybe they just oops their way into, you know what? Everybody's right. We should give him the ball more. Let's try that. I don't know what the right answer is because we're not in the room. Would love to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. But, you're basically just playing Jonathan Taylor. So we're going to plug him into the flex because he is in the later game, as we said. And the last must play on this slate is going to be Hunter Renfrow. Darren Waller out again. Henry Ruggs out for obvious reasons. And there's no other viable target who can get separation enough to move the ball down the field. Zay Jones is a guy, he's a professional wide receiver, and Bryan Edwards is athletic but has not shown the ability to get open consistently, and Deshaun Jackson stretches the defense, which actually really helps Hunter Renfrow, even if he's just out there running wind sprints and they target him 4 times a game deep. And he does have the ability to pay off on this slate, but him being on the field has helped Hunter Renfrow out massively. 3 straight weeks of over 20 DraftKings points, 24, 22, 32. 7,300, you're playing Hunter Renfrow this week. So those are the three guys, and now we have to find a way to make it work at 4,200. Well, you're going to end up playing a defense that's against your players. There's no way. You have to check that off in the lineup builder if you're building multiple lineups, where you can say, you know what? Most weeks I will not allow, especially in tournaments, a defense to be against my offensive players. On a 2-game slate, same with Thanksgiving slate, you're going to allow it. So you're going to end up with somebody, so like, hey, you've got Nick Chubb, you can't play the Raiders. The hell I can't. There's nothing I can't do on this slate. I believe that the best defense, probably though, like I don't want to play like 3-4 of my players against the same defense, but defense is so highly variant and like dependent on touchdowns and sacks that like I believe that the defense that can get the most pressure is probably the Browns. You know, that defensive line with Clowney and Garrett is tremendous, and again, that everybody's out for everyone. So the question is, are the Raiders going to have to throw it? Are they going to get throttled in this game? Is this game going to play too slow? It's very possible the Raiders have the most pass attempts on the week, so I think either of these defenses is fine. Plug either one that you want. At quarterback, like this is such a frustrating slate. Derek Carr, like I said, probably projects to throw the ball the most, but efficiency and not volume is what leads to quarterback scoring. I don't think any of these quarterbacks are going to blow up the slate. I don't really foresee a 350-yard, 3 or 4 touchdown outburst from any of them based on their all of their want to establish the run. Mac Jones, he's been very efficient. They have a very healthy run game right now. The Indianapolis Colts are going to run the football and probably run the football well. New England has been giving up like a lot of yards per carry and recently and the last 4 weeks and collectively over the entire season. But like, I don't know that they're going to let Mac Jones. He's got a lower ADOT, a lower average depth of target in his rookie year than Tua had last year. And Tua last year was looked at and much maligned, but like Mac Jones is looked at, and he's got a 7.6 average depth of throw, and Tua had like an 8-yard average depth of throw last year, and Tua was looked at, oh, he can't throw downfield, and Mac Jones, oh, look, he's the next Tom Brady. It's weird that they have a different view because like he's winning games because he's got a really good defense, a running game, good coach, better roster around him. Whole different video, but probably not who I want for upside in this spot in this particular game. Going to have shares of him though if I'm going to play 150 in the Millionaire Maker. I have not decided if I'm going to do that yet though. I think that the way that we want to go, in spite of the defensive matchup, is Carson Wentz. Even though we are playing Jonathan Taylor in this lineup, I think that he might be the way that you want to go. I also think that it's going to be somewhat impossible to get the double stack that I would want, or a stack that I would want by going to Derek Carr, and have all these 3 guys unless I go for a cheaper running back. So like I could do that. Like Derek Carr I think is the best guy. I probably don't want to play the Browns against him in that spot, so I'm going to put the Raiders in here. At running back, there is one more spot that looks somewhat optimal, and it would be to go with Josh Jacobs in here, just because he's going to get the most volume of any other guy. The other Patriots running backs are also fine in this spot, but they're going to split. Harris looks like he is going to play. He's questionable. They're going to determine that tomorrow. Stevenson, if he is out, is an absolute smash and would prefer him over Jacobs because it lets me pay up elsewhere. Bolden's going to have a role. I don't see, if all 3 are healthy, I don't see any of them playing over 40% of the snaps on Saturday. So we're going to go with Jacobs because him, Chubb, and Taylor gives us massive amounts of volume. At wide receiver, we're going to have to find value. Don't necessarily want just one team. Nelson Aguilar, we need to punt somewhere. Ignore this. This was the 3-target game. He gets enough usage. We're going to go with him. At tight end, going to have to find value. There is value out there. I'm going to go with David Njoku, leaving us 3,400 for our last wide receiver, meaning that we're going to go with somebody like Zach Pascal or Brian Edwards or Javon Wims. I would love to be able to get up to Zay Jones, who I think is one of the better values on the slate, with his current amount of snaps and routes that he is running. If you're playing cash games, find a way to get up to him, and it's probably going to take you off of Derek Carr and down to one of the lower paid quarterbacks. Or if you want for tournaments, somebody like Deshaun Jackson, who's not going to get more than 3 or 4 targets, but they are extremely high value targets, really low floor, really high ceiling. You know, it just takes one catch for him to get that 14 points out of one. But I'm going to end it off with Bryan Edwards here. It is an ugly, ugly 2-game slate. I wish you all the best with it. I may just watch football on Saturday instead of playing DFS because, man, this slate is ugly. But I committed to getting the video out for you, so it's out. That's all the analysis for Saturday. Look out for the lineup builder later today, and I'll see you live on Twitch in a couple of hours. Bye.
He's a legend.